Pam's case points to the fact that somehow she was able to retain coherent perception and memory whilst clinically dead. This suggests the possibility of some kind of mind-brain separation.
When the heart is stopped and the brain is not functioning, it really is not functioning. There can be no memory. It can't be remembering experiences in some way which are occurring at that time, because the memory circuits don't work. So when the near-death experiencer talks about these memories of going out of their body and seeing the resuscitation process, it's difficult for our current neuroscience to understand how this could happen in using a memory system which is defunct. And so one has to argue that in some way the information is retained outside the brain and then later on is fixed in the memory circuits. Or you have to argue that it somehow or other occurs in the brain and goes into memory in a way we don't understand.
I think that what's happening during out-of-the-body experiences, which are vivid and dramatic and life-changing experiences in themselves, is that the brain is simply building a different view of itself. I mean, this idea that now I am inside here looking out at this world is just an idea. There isn't really somebody in there. As far as brain science is concerned, you know, what's in here? Millions of neurons, all connected in billions of ways to each other. There isn't a central controller. There isn't a little me in there. All that is a kind of illusion constructed by our language.
Whilst near-death experiences change lives, they've also given some individuals extraordinary experiences that they would never have dreamt of. The most intriguing examples are of blind people becoming sighted for the first time. Vicky Noratuk had been blind from birth.
I've never seen anything, no light, no shadows, no nothing. A lot of people ask if I see black. No, I do not see black. I do not see anything at all. And in my dreams, I don't see any visual impressions. It's just taste, touch, sound, and smell, but no visual impressions of anything.
In her early 20s, Vicky was involved in a serious car accident.
The next thing I recall, I was in Harborview Medical Center and looking down at everything that was happening. And it was frightening because I'm not accustomed to see things visually because I'd never had before. And initially it was pretty scary. And then I finally recognized my wedding ring and my hair, and I thought, is this my body down there? And am I dead or what?
The out-of-body experience is just another very similar kind of illusion in which we construct the idea that now we're out of our body looking down. And it's not such a difficult thing for the brain to do because we have in our memories all the information to do that with. The tunnel, for example, to me seems very clear how and why you get these dark tunnels with a bright light at the end. We know how the cells in the visual system are laid out, right from the retina in the back of the eye, right the way through the visual system to the visual cortex at the back of your brain here. There are lots of cells devoted to the middle of the visual field, what you're looking at, and very few devoted towards the outside. Now, what happens when you get into shock, when you have lack of oxygen, is all the cells start firing randomly. Now, what's that going to look like? With lots of cells devoted towards the middle and very few towards the outside, it's going to look like bright light in the middle, dark towards the outside. Now, you're nearly unconscious with your eyes shut, and this is all you can see, so it feels like going forwards through a tunnel into a bright light.
We can't bring her back, get the crash drum!
They kept saying, we can't bring her back, we can't bring her back, and they were trying to frantically work on this thing that I discovered was my body, and I felt very detached from it. And sort of, so what? And I was thinking, you know, what are these people getting so upset about? Then I thought, I'm out of here. I can't get these people to listen to me. And as soon as I thought that, I went up through the ceiling as if it were nothing. And it was wonderful to be out there and be free, not worry about bumping into anything. And I knew where I was going. and I heard the sound of wind chimes. It was the most incredible sound that I could describe. It was from the very lowest to the very highest tones. As I was approaching this area, there were trees and there were birds and quite a few people, but they were all like made out of light. And I could see, and it was incredible, really beautiful, and I was overwhelmed by that experience because I couldn't really imagine what light was like. It's still a very emotional thing when I talk about this because there was a point at which I could bring forth any knowledge I wanted to have, and it was like this place was where all knowledge was.
Another thing that we understand pretty well is the emotional effects, because under stress and with shock and lack of oxygen, you'll get a massive flood of endorphins, the brain's own morphine-like chemicals, which has the effect of taking away pain, making you feel everything's absolutely fine and how it should be, giving you a very positive attitude towards everything, so that when all this stuff's coming up, oh, there's my body dying, well, that's fine. Wow, here's these amazing things, it's all fine. So the whole experience can be coloured by that particular chemical.
And then I was sent back, and then I went back into my body, and it was excruciatingly painful and very heavy, and I remember feeling very sick.
Vicky's case suggests that her mind was working at a time when her brain was unable to supply her with such visual information, even if she could see.
I'm very thankful to have had this experience because it helped me in many aspects of my life, and it helped me to deal with things a lot more constructively than I might have otherwise.